And welcome to the castle, everybody. This is Night Saber Z42. And today we're actually going to take a look at Roll20's reserve collection that they started a few months ago. And so basically, what happens the first Tuesday of every month, they release a new product on the marketplace that you can get for free, that you can claim, add it to your collection, and use pretty much forever. It's in your collection. It's kind of like how PlayStation has their free game of the month, and so does the Xbox. So it's kind of like a way of adding to your collection by being a subscriber. Now, you do have to be an actual pro subscriber to use all of this, and so I'm going to show you the first 3 months. I think it was November, December, and now January. What has been added, and then probably every month I'll go ahead and review the newest thing that's in the Roll20 reserve. So I actually got my review game here. And the first one that we're going to take a look at is the Baby It's Cold Outside. It's a token pack for winter or cold themed games. And so you can see here, these are all of the tokens that you actually get. But let me go ahead and show you. You can also find these in the marketplace purchases once you have claimed them, and they'll be in its own little folder. So here's It's Cold Outside token pack. As you can see, there's a bison, an elk, a frost druid, just kind of a variety of different humanoids and animals and monsters, creatures to use in something maybe like Icewind Dale if you're starting that whole campaign. I'm sure that you can get a whole lot of functionality out of this, or even just something in general that's, maybe ice themed, or just something to add to your tokens for NPCs or your players even. I never really understood the whole isometric angle for tokens, so it doesn't really do me a whole lot of, it doesn't have a whole lot of interest in me or with me, so I probably wouldn't be using these as much, especially since I don't have a normal fantasy game that uses elves and dwarves and humans at the moment. So I definitely wouldn't be using this, but definitely if you're doing something along the lines of Dungeons and Dragons or Swords and Wizardry or any fantasy type setting that you would need a cold theme for, then this would definitely be something to use. Now, I believe this was the very first Roll20 Reserve that came out in November. So if you weren't able to pick this up, you can still purchase it from the marketplace. So for any month that a product is on the Roll20 marketplace, after that month is finished and they move on to the next one, you'll be able to purchase that product. So the next product that was to come out in the Roll20 Reserve was the Airships and Galleons art pack. And this is an assortment of just ships, airships, and just normal ships, and a lot of different customizable things to put on those ships, as you can see right here in the little art pack that came with it. So I can add things like anchors or ballista. I can add even just unique items like cannonballs. I can have a captain shelf or his desk. There's all sorts of different tools that you can use, and you don't have to use the actual map that, or the actual maps that come with it. So there's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I see there's actually more than that because I missed the 2 right here that are actually out, and that just kind of list the, or just kind of showcase the different ships that you can actually play around with. And so you actually have those available in the art pack itself to just drag out and put wherever you want. Although this is not a very good way to put it out because I have the grid on, but still the same thing. Now, if you actually use this page and you're on the maps and backgrounds, there's actually a new function that I'll show you with the next product. But this basically just shows off a couple of the ships back to back. And so what you would want to do is actually have a page and then just kind of put your whichever ship that you want to use, and then just start filling it in with some of the different objects. There's all sorts of different ships to use, including airships. So if you're running one of those Eberron campaigns, or if you have a high fantasy, maybe steampunk sort of deal where you're using airships, this would be really great for you. And there's a ton of different thrusters. There's a ton of different things that you can put inside of your ship. The maps, kind of find it weird that they actually included mats, but they do have things like mass. And there are different levels to each ship as well. As you can see on the actual map pack. So here's an example of ships that are actually armed. And of course they come unarmed as well. And you can see that there's 1 level, 2 levels, there's a 3rd level, and then there's a 4th level. So this actually shows all 4 of the levels for this specific ship, starting from the lower deck all the way up to the top. Here's another one. This one is an empty of the previous one. So let me show off. They also provide it at night, which will actually show some of the lighting sources where they can be found around the ship. Not a really big fan of the nighttime ships. I would probably just use the daytimes. But if you actually gift a ship to your players, probably definitely start it, empty, and then let them add to it. That's what we did with the manor that I gifted them. I drew out a manor for them, and then I let them put stuff in it, whatever they actually wanted. So that's how I would do this. But it's nice that they actually have these ships fully armed in case that you're doing a pirate campaign and you actually want to board and raid said ship. So very interesting idea. And here is the next one that is in the daytime that is armed. So another this one's actually 5 levels, starting from the very lowest, which looks like to be like a cargo hold, and going all the way up. And the thing about these maps, they actually come with the backgrounds too. So you can either have a sea background in different colors, or you can have an air background, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere. There we go, with clouds in nighttime and in daytime as well. So that's pretty cool that they included that. And let's see. Got one more for a different background there. Same style of ship that we've seen before, but I actually really like this one. I like things that are modular, that I can just take parts of and then plug them into my own and just build my own stuff, even though I'm not doing an actual a pirate themed play per se. But it's nice that I have that option, especially when my players actually get off of the continent that they're on and start exploring others. I will actually need a ship to show them, and then we can have fun doing encounters on the ship and stuff like that. So this is a really interesting art pack. I really dig it. It's something that's quite unique, I feel like, from the marketplace. I haven't really seen too many ships or modular ship packs out there, so this was definitely an interesting one. Not one that I needed, but if you definitely need something like that in your campaign, you can go ahead and purchase this one. This was the Roll20 reserve for the month of December, if I'm not mistaken. So you will have to purchase it from the marketplace by this point if you didn't grab it. And the last one for the month of January, we have the urban, let's see, the urban. Oh, it was on the page before. It's an Urban Encounters map pack, and there's a few different maps that come with this one. And this is an interesting one, an interesting map pack to get, because there's actually a little note for it. So now, if you're the GM of the game, that is, you can actually right click and select multi-side, and there is actually 4 different sides for each of these maps. There is a gridded version and an ungridded version, and there's a daytime and a nighttime version for each map. So that means there's 4 different maps for each of these actual pages that come with the map pack. And these are really cool. I really do like them. These are just like, you can just, if you're doing an urban encounter, you can just grab one of these maps. These are very nondescript, just interesting looking areas with a lot of buildings, just kind of in there. Sometimes there's like market stalls and fountains and trees and stuff like that. And you can just go ahead and use them. Just plug in your players anywhere and just have an encounter at like a random map. These maps are actually really cool. I will say I kind of dig them. These are close-up versions of this one, by the way, the first one that I showed you. So think of it as this is the full map, and these are the different pieces of that map. So if you don't want to, if you want to just focus on this area, then you would just use this map. Let me show you one of the night side maps. I always feel like the daytime one is a little too dark. I don't know, that could be just my screen, but I feel like these maps are a little bit too dark. This is the ungridded version, if I'm not mistaken. Although I do have grids turned on for this page, so you will see the faint grid lines. Whereas in the other version with the actual grid lines, you see a darker outline of the grid. So, totally not needed, but I do appreciate that they have included a non-gridded version. So, here's another close-up version of another part of the map, where there are lots of, or some trees. This is an interesting one. Just alleyways, I suppose. So, little very interesting nook right here. Could have used something like this when I did an Legends of the Five Rings beginner's box type game. And then we have 4 more, I guess. So it's nice that they broke down this that giant map. I think it's like a 56 by 60 something size map. It's really nice that they broke that down to little chunks so that you don't have to, so you won't boggle your players' minds with too much information. You know what I mean? You're just relegating the action to this set piece. And then if they go off the grid, then they would go into the theater of the mind. And that way you don't have to show everything that you have, you know? That way if you have another urban encounter in like another city, you can pull out another one of these maps and, you know, it wouldn't break their immersion that, hey, this is kind of like in that other place that we've already been to. You have more to use. Although if you do need a really giant map, then of course you have one at the very beginning. It's the first one that pieces it all together. Very interesting. I also find it, well, I kind of find it weird that they included a wall, like a city wall, because not all cities have walls, I guess. But I mean, I digress. This is a very specific map. So that is the Urban Encounters map pack. Very interesting. I kind of dig it, although I am a little biased towards maps. Like I use a ton of maps myself. I guess I like a lot of the heroic maps, but I like modular maps. I like to piece together things I like to take buildings and put them in where I want them on a background and stuff like that. Or even like these little modular tiles that I can just stack together or place them next to each other like a puzzle and then just create my own things like that. Although if you need something quick, this is a free version for the month of January up until February, the first Tuesday in February, which is going to be in a couple weeks. So definitely grab them while you can. But that is my little quick showcase for the first 3 months of the Roll20 Reserve. And if you found this video informational, please leave a comment down below. I will try to provide links for the first two, or for all of these products on the Roll20 marketplace. So if you somehow weren't able to grab it, or if they interest you and you're not a subscriber, you can go ahead and purchase them. Please give this video a huge thumbs up to support this series, and I guess I will see you guys in the next video.